Hi there, Skeleton Key here. Welcome back to my channel. I'm not sure if anyone is going to show up for the live. Yeah, I actually was planning to skip it today and just roll my weekly book report into the sprints on Thursday. But no, earlier today I was like, nah, let's do it. And now I have brain fog, so I'm kind of regretting that decision. So I apologize in advance for being kind of derpy and yeah, it's like but anyway, if you are joining me live, I do hope you will pop into the chat and make comments on books and readathons and reading life and what's going on in your part of the world. I hope everything is good. I've had to force myself to stay away from all of the Storm Chaser channels, so I don't know who's getting blown to bits now. So sorry. If you're having storm issues or flooding or earthquakes or volcanoes or whatever is going on in the world in your neck of the woods, I'm really sorry, and I hope things calm down for you. And also, if you are watching this on the replay, likewise, there is a comment section, and I just found out that apparently YouTube has not been showing me comments or announcing or notifying. That's the word. They have not been notifying me of comments. So yeah, I was looking for something else, and I clicked on an unread comments or unanswered comments or comments I haven't responded to, and there's like comments going back months that I haven't seen. It's not been showing me comments, so I apologize if you commented and I didn't reply, and I'm very, very sorry. I will, when my brain is functioning better again, I will sit down and go through a bunch of old comments and hope you still care what I think about your comment. And so sorry about that. I wasn't ignoring you, at least not on purpose. But yeah, there is a comment section. So yeah, I guess I'm just gonna have to check that on a daily basis or something and respond to comments. Unless it starts notifying me again. Maybe if I comment on these, it'll start notifying me again. Because it used to notify me. I don't know why it quit. But anyway, we'll get back to the weekly book report. And so let me share my screen and share. I only finished 3 books last week. So this section will be kind of brief, and it'll probably be a pretty short video, in all things considered. Okay. So we've got these 3 here. So first, we've got The Maid. I have a hardcover of it somewhere, and I don't know. I probably walked right past it downstairs, but anyway, The Maid by Nita Prose. I gave it 2 stars. It was like around a 2.5, and I finally decided the more I thought about it, the more problems I had with it. So it's about this maid. She's coded autistic, never does say, what exactly. She's very neurodivergent of some kind. Coded autistic / OCD, maybe. And she's, I don't want to say the rep is wrong. But anyway, first of all, I should say she is a maid at a big fancy hotel in a city. I'm not sure if it ever says what city or if it's just a generic big city. I don't know. I kind of got New York City vibes, but I don't know. It may have said at some point, but I didn't notice. And anyway, she gets herself entangled in unwittingly in some criminal schemes in the hotel. And well, I guess one big criminal scheme. And then a guest at the hotel, she finds him dead in his bed when she goes in to clean. And anyway, and then she is somehow identified as the main suspect because she acts so weird. And okay, so here's the thing is I'm not going to say that the neurodivergence rep is wrong, because I mean, you've met one autistic person, you've met one autistic person. We are all very, very different. And women present, generally speaking, especially undiagnosed women, present very differently from men, or especially differently from young boys, and which is where all the diagnostic criteria are. Yeah, that's what they're all based on. And anyway, the context is really what bothered me. It's like nobody in this world has ever heard of autism or neurodivergence or OCD or anything like this. She's just weird. And she's not right. She's not normal. And the thing is I mean, I can see like some people just in general not really making that connection, but this isn't that old of a book. It came out in 2022. This was nominee for Best Debut Novel, winner for Best Mystery and Thriller for the Good Choice Awards in 2022. And it's not that old. And autism and ADHD and, that kind of that section, I mean, neurodivergence covers a lot of territory, but that sort of area of neurodivergence is in the news a lot. And also the police department here, modern police departments, modern police agencies, professional police agencies have training. Maybe some of them don't understand, some of them it doesn't click with them, but they have training in dealing with people they encounter in the course of their work who are neurodivergent, autistic, mentally ill, of various things. And sometimes that training's not the best, but they're at least aware of it. And I'm not saying that they take the training to heart and apply it properly, because it's just, if you're autistic, don't let that be known in Aurora, Colorado, because that's bad. They did get anyway. Oh, that's a whole nother thing. I can't talk about that without getting really emotional, so I'm just gonna stop. But it's like nobody even understands that this exists in the world, and it's just so bizarre. I had to keep mentally setting this in like the 1930s, and then people pull out their cell phones and I'm like, okay, well, fine. So I had some serious issues with that. I also had serious issues with the police procedure in general. The writing was just really sloppy there. It's like they get an arrest warrant and they go to arrest somebody, and their suspect is she passes out because she's from stress, and apparently from what's said later, she apparently kept passing out. She was going in and out of consciousness, and she comes to in a holding cell, and apparently they interrogated her while she was slipping in and out of consciousness. No, no, that's if your suspect loses consciousness when you arrest her, you take her to the hospital for evaluation. I mean, oh my gosh, uh, yeah, the liability issues alone. Oh my gosh. So yeah, that, and also, this criminal scheme, all of this is very, this is not spoilers. All of this is very quickly obvious to the reader. But Molly the maid, she's, they keep kind of presenting her as, is really sharp and bright and, really good at her job and really good at anticipating needs that are related to her job. But anything not related to her job, they make her like really stupid. And not even really consistently, because she also, she watches Columbo like almost religiously. And there's this whole thing with grief for her grandmother, and that's a whole nother subplot. But yeah, it's just, but they act like she doesn't have any concept of how criminals work or operate, and that, she takes everything so literally, except when she doesn't. And that's actually kind of realistic, because there's a lot of stuff that, it depends on our state of mind, how much of a trait is displayed at any point in time. But I don't know, I felt like they really there's a lot of infantilization. Is that, did I get all the syllables in there? Anyway, I felt like they really infantilized Molly quite a bit. And they, and also, since all of this was so obvious to the reader, but I kind of tried to shift perspective a little bit. And as far as I could tell, it was people they knew stuff was going on, but then they didn't actually do any serious investigation. They were just like, well, maybe we'll figure it out eventually. It's like, no, you investigate. But no, there's this thing about the head of housekeeping or some manager holding a meeting and basically asking people to come forward if they were dealing drugs out of the hotel or something. It's like, what? No. So as a crime novel, it failed. As a presentation, as autism rep or neurodivergence rep, it was a D, barely passing. It just wasn't consistent at all. And yeah, so anyway, I have problems with it. A lot of people love it. It got the Best Mystery and Thriller Goodreads Choice Award. So take it for whatever it's worth. I was quite disappointed. And let's see. Okay, so next we have Tiger Chair, a short story. And this came up as, well, it was a free Amazon Prime free short story, bonus short story thing this month, and I'd already downloaded it. And then on the Kindle challenge, it's like, read whatever you want, but science fiction or fantasy would be awesome. And so I'm like, okay, well, and then it's here, look at these science fiction books. And so I was clicking there. It's like, oh, well, I have that. I just downloaded that. It's by Max Brooks. It is not a zombie story. At least I don't think it was. maybe I missed something, and maybe it really is a zombie story. I don't know. If that's the case, somebody please tell me. Um, but yeah, it's yeah, Max Brooks is probably most famous for World War Z. And this is a story. It's a World War III story, I guess. And China invades America, and then they thought it was going to be a cakewalk, and nope, it was not. And no, guerrilla warfare, and so the story is supposedly a letter. And how many? It's a 50-page letter. 50 book pages. 50-page letter of this Chinese, what is he, a lieutenant or something? I don't know. But he's writing home to his childhood friend, his bestie, and telling him, explaining about how sideways things went and philosophizing about the horrors of war. The tiger chair refers to a torture device kind of thing. I don't know. They didn't really say much about it except that it was, you'd basically die from your injuries from this torture. But they were talking about, the sense of honor and how, by him being disloyal to his country and to his role in the military by divulging all of this information about how badly it was going, and don't believe the propaganda, that he's sure if he gets caught sending this letter, that he will be sent to the tiger chair and die. So I don't know. Parts of it were really interesting. It's just I had a hard time believing that he would write this 50-page letter. It didn't feel like a letter, even though it was this 50-page info dump. And I think if it had been formatted in some other fashion, I don't know how or what, but I think I probably would have gotten into it more. As it was, I was just kind of ho-hum about half the time, and then parts of it were really interesting, but it got kind of repetitive, and I don't know. But it also occurs to me that maybe there was some bigger point that I am just totally missing. And like I said, maybe it's actually a zombie story and I just missed that. I don't know. But anyway, I give it 3 stars because I did like a lot of things about it. It just kind of didn't really hold together for me as a story. So take that for whatever it's worth. And the third book I finished last week was Mambo and Murder by Raquel V. Reyes. And so I listened to this. I already had the ebook. I had this on Kindle, and then it was a bonus borrow on Hoopla to get the audiobook. So I kind of went back and forth between the audiobook and sometimes reading along with the text. And I'm glad I had the text because there are recipes, and so I can go back and look at those recipes again if I decide to make them. Of course, the drinks, the beverages all had alcohol in them, so I'm going to have to figure out some way to make those. But anyway, this is a mystery. It's set in a fictional neighborhood, Coral Shores, Miami, and anyway, our MAYhem is our protagonist and our amateur sleuth, and she has just moved to Coral Shores from New York, where she met her husband, who is white. MAYhem is Cuban American, and anyway, this is like his hometown. I mean, her hometown, I guess, was Miami too, but a different part of Miami. And anyway, there are all sorts of issues with her husband and his family, and yeah, I don't like her husband. The whole dynamic with her husband, even though a lot of it, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in the middle that of course then gets resolved. And but even then, with that resolution in place, I still didn't like their dynamic, and I didn't like him, and I think he's a jerk. Yeah, but anyway, there's all this family stuff, and then of course his family, they're very wealthy, and so it's like, well, MAYhem, you're gonna have to join the country club set now, and she's not real happy about that, but she goes. And the very first event she goes to, the woman sitting next to her dies, has a heart attack and dies. And yeah, so and then somehow they decide that her best friend, who was also there, her best friend from childhood, is now a real estate agent. And anyway, so of course she goes to all the big fancy dues to schmooze people. And but anyway, they somehow get the idea that her friend killed her somehow, and then somebody else dies. And yeah, so it's, as a mystery, there in here, I had problems with the police procedure in this too. And well, maybe not necessarily the police procedure exactly, although some of it. But one thing I've noticed in so many, especially cozy mysteries, but so many mysteries, they serve a search warrant and search the house, and the person whose house is being searched is all upset. I don't know what they're looking for. I don't know what they took. I don't know. Read the fucking warrant. They have to give you a copy of the warrant that tells you what they took. And also, you can ask to look at it before they start searching, because it says where they're allowed to search, what they're looking for, what they're allowed to search for. It says all of that. They have to have that in there before a judge will sign it. So read the fucking warrant. Just sorry, I'm just really frustrated that it's like, but then they wouldn't be able to have their flip out scene of not knowing why they're under suspicion. Anyway, but no, I had fun with it. I gave it 4 stars, probably 3.5 rounded up to 4. I just, I had fun with it, and also I have fond memories of hanging out with Raquel at the at Left Coast Crime in Albuquerque, waiting for the little deli cafe or whatever in the hotel to open. And yeah, that was just kind of griping together. But it's it's a it's a cozy mystery. I don't know anything about Miami, so I don't know how realistic this is. I've never been to that part of Florida at all. But I don't know. It just, I liked it. I liked it. It was a fun read, even despite some flaws or some frustrations that I had with it. And I mean, and maybe, I have a feeling we're not supposed to like the husband, and and who knows, maybe that will play into plots in later books. who knows? So that's it for that. So now I'll move on to just talk a little bit about the Mysterious Mayhem Readathon that I have going on this month. And of course, Mango, Mambo, and Murder counts for, I mean, you don't have, there are prompts, but you don't have to, and I've got them listed in the description below. You don't have to use the prompts if you don't want to. Just read something mysterious or chaotic or both, and that's participation. So Mango, Mambo, and Murder counts. The Maid counts. Tiger Chair counts. Yeah, there's all sorts of war crimes and stuff going on. So sure, that counts. And Tiger Chair, you might even be able to make a case for Agent Provocateur with some, not the primary character, but really, but you know, just the military presence in general. I don't know. You could do that if you wanted, but yeah. So Mango, Mambo, and Murder, I would recommend if you're looking for something light. The other two, I don't necessarily recommend, but that's just my opinion. And then let's see. Now, and I am doing, on Thursday, I am doing sprints at 2 p.m. Probably go for about 2 hours, like I did last time. And yeah, I discovered that I do not have time during that to do a full tag. So yeah, I won't be doing a tag. I'll be talking about other things, other, you know, Mysterious Mayhem books and things like that. And I will be doing, so that's every Thursday afternoon this month, and that's 2 p.m. Mountain Time. And then I think, I haven't got it on the schedule. We haven't nailed it down, but it looks like it's going to be either the 26th or the 27th that I will be having sort of a little wrap-up party for Mysterious Mayhem, and that will be with some guests, special guests, and we'll be talking about what we read during the month. And so this takes us right into other readathons. So Zombie Awareness Month is, so the Zombie-thon over at Kat's Novel Adventures. And I think I already got that one down in the comments below, her channel. But with that, let's see, what else am I reading these days? So yeah, Deathless Divide is, and that is the sequel to Dread Nation by Justina Ireland. And so I am reading that for Zombie-thon, and that also counts for an undead character for the first prompt of Mysterious Mayhem. And so far it's really good. I'm listening to it audiobook. Oh, this doesn't say who the, this is the Kindle edition. It doesn't say who the narrator is. But it's, I'm really pleased with how it's going. It's a little slow, but I felt like the prologue did a really good job of kind of setting the tone and setting, you know, of where they are, why they're there, without, and how they relate to each other, especially these two characters, Jane and Kate, the young women on the cover. And but it's not just this big info dump of here's what happened in the first novel. So I thought that was really well done. And We've already got sort of a character bombshell reveal from somebody. I won't say who, but it's yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. I can't wait. And let's see what else. So Asian Readathon. I am reading, well, I've got several things picked out. I've got a huge stack of things that I'm looking at, excuse me, for Asian Readathon, but The Sea is Ours, Tales of Steampunk Southeast Asia. And I noticed, yeah, okay, so there it is. You know, SEA, it's actually in all caps. And that's an abbreviation for Southeast Asia. So all of the authors, this is an anthology of steampunk short stories, and all of the authors are of Southeast Asian heritage. And yeah, it's even got a little section in the back about the authors. Each author has, you know, a little section describing who they are and what else they've written, and why they're, you know, why they felt compelled to contribute to this anthology and stuff like that. So, and it seems to be a very well curated collection. So far, I'm really enjoying it. And let's see, An Immense World. I'm almost done with that. And let's see, there's Death Justified. I'm still, yeah, I've made, I'm not still at 7% on the Book of Thorns, but I am enjoying that. It's sort of like magical botany kind of stuff. It's kind of cool. And then, let's see, but yeah, I don't have anything else here right now for Asian Readathon. But for Daphne du Maurier May, I am, well, okay. And let's see. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. Probably should have done that a little bit ago. But anyway. Yeah, so here's, probably see it better now. But The Sea is Ours and SEA is in all caps because it's an acronym for Southeast Asia. And this is it, and each story also is illustrated. So, but for Daphne du Maurier, oh, and Asian Readathon, that's Cindy is doing that, and I believe I've got her channel listed down below. And that's at With Cindy, I think. And anyway, so moving on to Daphne du Maurier, and that is Lauren in the Books. And I'm pretty sure I've got that one listed below too. But this is, I found my copy of The Flight of the Falcon. This is a very, very old copy. This is a book club edition from probably from the 60s. And so it's seen better days, but it is very readable. Yeah, the pages are fine. And the book itself is fine. It's just this dust jacket is not doing well. But I like it. It's very, I don't know, very atmospheric. And Daphne du Maurier is, of course, always very atmospheric. Atmosphere is very important. So I will be reading that. I also found that I do have this collection. Apparently I got it for $3 at the library. Libraries shop or book sale, Friends of the Library sale, something like that. And but this says, Don't Look Now and Other Short Stories. I used to have a standalone edition of that, and I've read that in the past, and it was a mixed bag for me. Some of the stories I really liked, and some of them I was like, wow. And some of them, they just didn't have endings. It just kind of stopped, and like, you need to write an ending to this story. But this also has The King's General, which I don't know anything about. The House on the Strand, which I've heard is one of her better ones. And The Glassblowers, that I don't know anything about. I think I heard somebody saying that it was not their favorite. Maybe even Lauren. And okay, so there's an inscription in here. Don't know who G is, but apparently he wrote a poem to the recipient of this book. Although your new scar is red, your old veins are blue, and your skin is so pale with your hospital hue, yet those eyes have such sparkle, and your mind has such wit. When it comes to real love, dear, I'm sure you are it. Oh my God, that's awesome. I love it when people write in books. I mean, like, inscriptions or happy birthday to so-and-so from grandma, or stuff like that. I love that kind of thing. But who knows? And the other things that Goodreads tells me that I said I have, I haven't found those yet. I don't know where they are. But if I finish The Flight of the Falcon and I'm looking for something else to read, I might start in on, I don't know, The King's General, just because it's first up in here. So we'll see. I don't know. And yeah, put these back over here so they don't, well, they're going to topple anyway. Wherever I put them, they're going to topple. So that's Daphne du Maurier May. Asian Readathon Zombie Awareness. Oh, and I'm also, I think I did mention that I'm going to, that I signed up, I pre-registered for my local library's event. And yeah, I printed out like all the little bingo activities. But yeah, I'm going to have to, when it starts on the 20th, so next Monday, I'll be able to go to the library and get an actual like bingo board that shows this stuff. But yeah, and most of them are activities. There's like listen to a book, read aloud to a pet or stuffed toy, read outdoors, read in bed. So, oh, and this goes all through like the 12th of August or something like that. So for the read in bed, I can do the read in the dark prompt for Summerween, which there is an announcement for Summerween. And so I'll have to, it's Gabby reads. So I'll have to put Gabby's channel down there. I'm very much looking forward to that. She's got her announcement video up for Summerween, which will be in July. So you can do a read in the dark for that. And let's see, read an award-winning book. So I have to find specifically an award-winning book. And that's it. Those are the only reading prompts. Everything else is, Fly Paper Airplane is on here. So do a good deed for someone, share a joke. But this is all after the 20th. So next week I can start in on these. And I may have to share a joke with you. Let's see. Also, just kind of looking ahead a little bit. I just watched the announcement for Michael K. Vaughan's June on the Range. So that's another one. I'll put a link to his channel below. But that's the entire month of June. It's reading Westerns. So I'm rounding up a bunch of Westerns. And, one has to be a Zane Grey and one has to be a Louis L'Amour. And I thought I had some there. They may still be out in the garage. But that is, but I've got a bunch of others. I have a lot of Weird West stuff. So yeah, Bodacious Creed, which I thought about reading for Zombie-thon and also the Undead prompt for Mysterious Mayhem. Bodacious Creed is steampunk zombie western. So I think I may just push that out to June. So, because two of the prompts are to read Westerns that are not by Louis L'Amour or Zane Grey. So that's Bodacious Creed, and I've got a bunch of others that I'll round up and show you at some point. Maybe on Thursday. But let's see. That fits you to a T. The poem? Yeah, it does. I don't know who G is. Are you G? Yeah, I don't know. I picked that up at the library, so no idea who he was addressing. But yeah, now I gotta read that whole tome. Just it's not gonna happen this month. I'm not gonna read all through everything there. That's not happening. But I am very much looking forward to sprinting on Thursday, getting some things read. Also got like Is He Dead? Oh, another thing. This week is Bout of Books. So let me share that. Yeah, and that is this week. Started on Monday. And so here it's boutofbooks.blogspot.com. And this is the schedule for that. And you probably can't read all that print there, but it's mainly on Instagram and Discord. And I need to go look at the Discord. I don't think I've been there in a while. But yeah, I did post something on Instagram. I don't post a lot on Instagram, but there you go. Let's see. So here's the home screen. Oh, so yeah, here's day 2. And also, so I am over on my Mastodon page. I'm trying to get into the habit of posting things there more regularly. So I'm going to be posting updates on Mastodon rather than, and I'm going to still try to do Instagram too, but I'm trying to focus on Mastodon. So I'll post an update over there today about yesterday, and then I can add it here. So yeah, there's all sorts of people have already posted their links for their updates today. And here's their Instagram. So yesterday I was currently reading, and I did do a currently reading post. It was nothing fancy. It was basically screenshots. And then recommended read. So I have not posted that. So I guess I need to go do that, and I'll maybe try to get a little creative with that one. But there you go. But that's another fun. It's not really well, it is a readathon, but it's not really themed. It's just read. And reading is fun. So I am looking forward to reading with you on Thursday and talking about Mysterious Mayhem. And yeah, so let me know in the comments if you are participating in Mysterious Mayhem. And I did see, yeah, somebody did leave me a comment the other day that they are participating. So now I gotta go find that and respond, because yeah, sorry I hadn't responded earlier, but hopefully it'll get back on track and sending me notifications. And if not, I'll just keep checking. And but yeah, I will hope everything is going smoothly for you this week, and hope you are having happy reading, and I will talk at you later.